While you will find that it's easy to configure an addressable break glass just by using the wizard and following the same procedure that you've used for detectors, and only choosing the MCP symbol instead, you will find that a conventional BGA, as it's normally found at the far panel, is a bit trickier to configure. So this is because they don't sit on these devices don't sit on the normal loop, they sit on loop 0. So to configure the break glass at the far panel and to have it imported onto your graphics, you will need first to ascertain what switch it's assigned to in your config. So this is a sample config. For this use, we will use switch 9. It's always important. Normally it sits on switch 9, but it's important to ascertain that that's the case. If not, please contact Fusion on what procedure to follow. So we'll just go on the basis that switch 9 is the one we want to use. So we will go back to our programming screen. We will click on the node we want to work on and choose status input. At this point, we will need to choose node 1 or as required by the situation, and input 37. So these inputs on this specific list for status inputs, which you will notice is actually loop 0, have their own special list. So switch 9 is address 37. So now we've selected the right input, and we just follow our normal procedure using the wizard. So you don't have to do anything here because the right input is selected. Next, this is a status input, event type, you can use it as fire alarm, alarm template, fire alarm, reset template, fire reset. The graphic we want, in this case, is subsection 1, and the symbol will be a BGA or an MCP. We can isolate it if we want, but in this case we'll just pick none because we don't want to give the option to isolate that particular device. Okay, next, finish. Now this status event has been changed to fire alarm. We can check our progress on the graphic. On the graphics page, so as you can see, it's still hidden here. We can actually program it through graphics management, take it and move it to wherever we need to. And if we go into graphics, we have the option of a break glass. This is a conventional break glass at the panel. Now you will also see that if I double click on these devices, I have the option to disable or enable them. But if I double click on this, nothing happens because in this case, just as an example, we chose not to give it this particular option. If required by the site, you can certainly do that following the instructions on the wizard or by changing this particular point. Configure the symbol, device disablement. So you can always go back on this particular option if you decide that you want to give or take away this particular feature from a symbol.